Okay, so I'm starting now.
Many years ago, the elephant had a very short nose that
Can you
looked
hear?
a lot like the nose
Yes, ma'am.
of a pig. It was not as long as it is now, but an elephant's baby changed it forever. The little elephant asked questions about everything. He went to the giraffe and asked him a question. Mr. Giraffe, why do you have spots all over your body? I don't know, little elephant. He went to the ostrich and asked him a question. Why do your tail feathers grow like that? What a silly question, young man. The elephant then went to a hippo and asked him a question. Why are your eyes so red?
What an absurd question.
One day he was getting very curious again and asked, what does the crocodile eat for dinner? Shh! Be quiet. The baby elephant refused to keep quiet.
मैम आवाज
Kept
नहीं आ
asking the
रहा है.
same question to everyone he met. One day he came across a bird and asked her the same question.
Oh, no.
Hi, little bird.
Okay, I'm
Can you
repeating.
tell me? Went to the giraffe and asked him a question. Mr. Giraffe, why
Can
do
you
you
hear?
have spots all over your...
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know, little elephant. He went to the ostrich and asked him a question. Why do your tail feathers grow like that? What a silly question, young man. The elephant then went to a hippo and asked him a question. Why are your eyes so red?
What an absurd question.
One day he was getting very curious again and asked, what does the crocodile eat for dinner? Shh! Be quiet. The baby elephant refused to keep quiet. He kept asking the same question to everyone he met. One day he came across a bird and asked her the same question. Hi, little bird. Can you tell me what the crocodile eats for dinner? You ask too many questions. Go to the river and find out for yourself. The baby elephant started his journey to the river. He had never seen a crocodile before. After a very long and tiring journey, he finally reached the river. He was walking along the edge of the river when he suddenly tripped over something that looked like a log of wood. But that something started moving its tail, and the baby elephant stepped down hurriedly. Suddenly, he blinked and opened his mouth. The log turned out to be the crocodile himself. Excuse me, have you seen a crocodile around here? I have been searching for one for a very long time.
Then I must say you are lucky. I'm the one you are looking for. I am a crocodile. What can I do for you?
Really? I have been looking for you. Will you please answer my question? Can you tell me what you have for dinner?
I will definitely tell you, but only if you come closer. Come here. I will whisper the answer in your ear.
The baby elephant was excited and brought his ears closer to the crocodile. At once, the crocodile leaped and grabbed the nose of the elephant with a strong grip.
I think I will eat a little elephant for dinner today.
Ouch! Let me go! That hurts so much. And so the struggle began. The two pulled from both sides, and the elephant's nose kept stretching. Finally, the crocodile gave up and swiftly went into the water. The baby elephant was saved from the crocodile. Suddenly, he noticed that his nose was long. He waited for his nose to shrink. However, it never shrank. Since that day, the elephant's nose remained like that, very long.
So, how was the story?
Nice, ma'am.
Okay.
He wanted to know the answers to three important questions which were puzzling him. He thought that he would never fail in anything he might undertake if he knew the answers to those questions. His three questions were: how can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need the most to help me with the work? How do I know which is the most important thing to do? The king said, I announce a great reward to anyone who can give the right answers to my questions. The most learned men came to the kingdom. Each one had a different answer to the king's first question. One of them said, for every action, we should draw up a plan in advance, a table of days, months, and years, and must live strictly according to the plan. Only with this timetable, everything can be done at a proper time. Another scholar declared, it is impossible to decide the right time for every action. If you avoid getting absorbed in idle pastimes and attend to all that is going on around you, you can manage the most important task. The third scholar said,
however attentive the king might be to what is going on, it is impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action. I think that the king should set up a council of wise men who would help him to fix the proper time for everything.
Some scholars contradicted this and said, some things might demand immediate action. Of course, for this, we need to know what is going to happen in the future. Only magicians can tell the king what is going to happen in the future. Therefore, one must consult them. Equally various were the answers to the second question. Some said, the king needs his counselors the most. Some said doctors. Some said priests, while the others said soldiers. The answers to the third question were even more confusing. They ranged from focusing on science to warfare to religious worship. The resulting confusion led the king to meet a hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. The hermit lived in the woods and never met anyone but common people. The king disguised himself as a common man and went to meet the hermit. When the king reached the woods, the hermit was digging the ground for planting herbs. Seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. The hermit was frail and weak, and each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little soil, he breathed heavily. The king waited, but the hermit continued to work. The king decided that he would ask the questions anyway. I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions. My questions are, how can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need the most to help me with the work? How do I know which is the most important thing to do? The hermit continued digging without giving answers to the king's questions. He looked terribly tired. The king said, you look tired. Can I help you? And took the spade from him and started digging. After he had dug 2 beds, the king repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answer. The king went on digging. The sun was sinking behind the trees. They suddenly heard footsteps. Someone was running towards the hermit's hut. He was bleeding from a large wound in his stomach. He fell, fainting on the ground, when he reached the hermit and the king. They took him inside the hut. The king cleaned the wound repeatedly and covered it with his handkerchief and with a towel the hermit had. The blood stopped flowing after a few hours. But the king and the hermit continued to take care of the wounded man all night. In the morning, when the man awoke, he stared at the king for a few seconds. He was overcome with shame when he realized it was the king who had saved his life. "Forgive me," cried the man when the king looked at him. "I have nothing to forgive you for." "Who are you?" said the king. "I am your enemy from the neighboring kingdom, who had sworn to kill you because you had killed my brother in a battle. When I heard that you were coming to meet the hermit in disguise, I followed you so that I could kill you. Your men, however, caught me and wounded me. How can I thank you for saving my life? If you hadn't dressed my wounds and looked after me, I would have bled to death. From this day onwards, I will serve you as your most faithful slave, and will ask my sons to support you. Forgive me." A little later, the king went out to see the hermit again. "I am asking you for the last time. Can you give me the answers to my questions?" "Do you still need an answer from me in words? When you came to see me, you saw me working. And when you saw that I was getting tired, you decided to help me. If you hadn't decided to stay and help, you would have been killed by your enemy on your way back. I would say that the most important action was helping me. The most important person was someone whom you were helping, me first and the wounded man later. If that man had died, he wouldn't have made peace with you. Therefore, the most important time is always now. The most important person is the one who needs your help. The most important action is to comfort the person who needs help."
Who's ready?
So first question is who had a bulgy nose? So you have to say who means all the names. Okay, not a singular. What did Golu ask from Moina? Where did Moina suggest him to go? What did Golu take along? How did Golu help the python? What did crocodile do to assure Golu of his being crocodile? How did the crocodile reply to Golu about his dinner? How did the python rescue Golu? What did Golu do to cool his nose? What were the benefits or advantages of having long trunk? Okay. Most of the questions are already done from the exercise. Nothing new. Yes. Nose and nose. Have you copied all the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then continue it in home or next day. Okay, because it's already
Okay.
time and your grammar class will start from 9. Okay.
9.
What were the
Yes, ma'am.
benefits for advantage of having long trunk? Yes. What? You send me that. What were the benefits or advantages of having long trunk?
No, ma'am.
And who is giving it? Okay. Okay. Bye. And
Bye, ma'am.
join quickly in the next class. Okay. Voice will be continued.
Okay.
Stop sharing.